Hello, my name is Ryan Snyder, and I'm a professor of tourism and geography here at Humber College's School of Hospitality, Recreation, and Tourism. And today I'm going to be introducing the module on tourism planning, development, and marketing a destination. Over the course of this week, you're going to be looking at sustainable tourism, specifically the triple bottom line, how that involves people, planet, and profit. And so over the course of this module, we're going to be looking at how do we minimize environmental impact? That's the planet. How do we minimize the impact on humans? That's the people. And how do we maximize our economic impact? That's the profit. Let me give you a little example. Before I came to Humber, I was working in northern Africa in a country called Sudan. Sudan's one of the poorest countries in the world. No access to healthcare, no access to education, no access to clean water within this small community that I was working. And over the course of the 6 months, the team I was working on built 6 different wells. After the course of that process, we had clean water for these people. I was extremely excited about this initiative because we were able to provide clean water, which leads to clean community health. Unfortunately, a few weeks later, after I wrote the final report, we found out that the soldiers from the opposing army came into that community, wiped out that community, poured poison down the wells, and poured sand down the wells. And all the work that we had done had been devastated. And I was devastated. I wanted to give up. Fortunately, my boss told me to continue working and sent me to a different part of northern Kenya. I was expecting the situation to be very much the same. No access to healthcare, water, education, to be demoralized. But when I got there, I was pleasantly surprised to see how well this community had developed. I was excited to see that the community and the schools actually had school supplies and teachers that were being paid. The hospital and healthcare clinics had doctors that were available and had medical supplies. And when I did a little more work, I found out that the development component within this community wasn't from an outside government, wasn't from an NGO or an aid organization, it was from tourism, sustainable tourism. You see, this community in northern Kenya developed camel tours. For tourists would fly into Nairobi, Kenya, they would then fly up to northern Kenya and they would go on a 4-day camel trek across the desert. And by doing this, the local people were able to earn money from these tourists that wanted to minimize their environmental impact. They wanted to have a real contextual visit with the local people. And they would take all the money developed from tourism, put into the Turkana Tourist Trust, and they would then take these funds and use them to pay the doctors, pay the teachers, purchase school supplies, purchase health supplies. And with that, I started to realize the concept of how tourism could be a tool for development. And so over the course of this week, we're going to be looking at taking my example that I just mentioned and seeing how does that apply to the context of sustainable tourism. How do we as tourists, how do we as Canadians try to minimize our environmental impact when we travel? How can we minimize our impact on people by not introducing too many difficult issues? And how can we maximize profit for the host population so that the host community can actually develop and benefit from those tourist dollars? Thank you.